partner, ASA is a comprehensive framework for understanding the interplay between various factors affecting agriculture and development, encompassing natural elements like insects, weeds, rodents, and soil conditions. It integrates diverse aspects of study into a coherent process aimed at informed decision-making. This method emphasizes monitoring and evaluating both direct and indirect influences on ecological systems.
Alright, good day everyone, especially to Sir Ben. We are here to discuss something important, the ASA and OCRA. Before we start, you already know my name, but I'll say it again. I'm Princess Andrade Taguran.
And I am Lori J. Tabion.
Now, let's connect the ASA to OCRA. Remember, ASA helps us understand how different factors in the agro-ecosystem affect our crops. These factors are generally grouped into biotic and abiotic components.
Exactly, partner. Let's start with biotic factors. These are living organisms that directly or indirectly influence okra growth. First, the crops. Okra itself and any companion plants. The second is pests. Cotton aphids can damage leaves and reduce yield. And the last one is pollinators and beneficial insects like ants, spider, and braconid wasp help control pests.
And then we have abiotic factors, which are non-living elements of the environment. First, the install soil. Install, fertility, and nutrient content affect okra growth. The second one is water. Adequate irrigation and rainfall patterns are crucial. Lastly, the climate, which is the temperature, sunlight, and humidity, plays a key role of flowering and blooming.
Okra plant health depends on both living, biotic, and non-living abiotic factors. Living factors include pests and beneficial insects. Cotton aphids can damage leaves and reduce yield, but ants, spider, and braconid wasp help control pests and protect the plant. Non-living factors include soil, water, and climate. Good soil, enough water, proper sunlight, and moderate humidity help okra grow strong, flower well, and produce fruit. If any factor is poor, the plant may become weak, get diseases, or give a low yield.
Here are 5 observations we observed to the okra plant. First is the pest presence, which is cotton aphids that are present on okra plant, causing damage and potential spreading disease. The second one is beneficial insects, which is the braconids, spider, and wasps. The ants are present, preying on pests and helping to control their population. The number 3 is okra plant health. The okra plant is growing well with big and healthy leaves. Third is the pollinator attraction. The okra plant is attracting beneficial insects like bees and butterflies, which are helping with pollination. Last is ecosystem and balance. The okra plant ecosystem is balanced with both pests and beneficial insects, playing their part, demonstrating nature's ability to take care of itself.
And these are our 5 recommendations. The first one is use neem oil to control aphids naturally without harming beneficial insects. Next one is provide shelter and food, like nectar plants, to support these beneficial insects. Third is continue optimal growing condition, good soil, adequate water, sunlight, and moderate humidity to maintain plant health. Fourth is plant diverse flowers around the field to support and attract more pollinators. And the last one, for our recommendation is avoid broad spectrum pesticide. Instead, use targeted integrated pest management or what we call IPM strategies to maintain this balance.
So how we use integrated pest management or IPM? By applying the observation from ASA to make smart, sustainable decisions for managing pests in okra. From our study, we saw cotton aphids damaging leaves, while beneficial insects like braconid wasps, spider, and ants were naturally controlling pests. The okra plant was big leaves and attractive pollinators such as bees and butterflies, indicating balanced ecosystem.
Using integrated pest management or IPM, we can respond responsibly to pest problems by combining biological, cultural, and mechanical strategies rather than relying on broad-spectrum pesticides. This includes applying neem oil to control aphids without harming beneficial insects, providing shelter and food for natural predators, maintaining optimal soil, water, and sunlight conditions, planting diverse flowers to support pollinators, and using targeted intervention when necessary. By linking ISA observations with IPM practices, we protect the ecosystem while ensuring healthy growth and higher yields in okra.
Remember, the ASA goals are 1. Sustainable practices.
Eco-friendly methods, reducing impact.
2. Productive increase.
Optimized by the natural processes, fewer inputs.
3. Biodiversity conservation.
Pest control, pollination, soil health.
4. Climate resilience.
Strategies for climate challenges.
5. Environmental assessment.
Evaluate practices and minimize negatives.
And that's the end of our discussion. We hope you learned, laughed, and got inspired to look closer to the world around you. Before every plant, insect, and drop of water has a story.
Remember everyone, ASA and IPM teach us to observe carefully, respect nature's balance, and make smart, eco-friendly choices. Supporting beneficial insects, planting diverse flowers, and using sustainable pest control all help our crops and ecosystem thrive. Let's stay curious and keep exploring the amazing connection in the natural world. Once again, I am Lori Jane Abion,
And I am Princess Andrade de Veras.
thank you.